Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the reveal of the Jeep Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, and welcome to the Mont Blanc. Before we jump into the heart of today's experience, I would like to invite a very special guest to join me on stage, the North Face athlete and legendary alpinist, Simone Moro.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, Simone, how are you?
Very well,
Very
very well.
Okay, for many of us here today, the location and the partnership is new ground. But for you, with your history of working with both brands and, of course, deep knowledge of the area, perhaps you're the best place to kick us off. So tell us, why is exploration and adventure so important, and how do you know Jeep and the North Face believe deeply in it?
Well, to explore and have adventure is an attitude, okay? And you can have this attitude artificially, okay? You have to wear the adventure and the exploration. And this is a free choice. And it was also my free choice when I decided to try to become a professional mountaineer and professional adventurer and explorer. And I was lucky enough, and probably also brave enough, that along my journey and my path, my history, I had also the privilege to work with the two brands that are here today. So before that, let's say, the wedding that we are celebrating here today between the North Face and Jeep, I was working with both brands to realize part of my history and my adventure. And now, today we are here in Monte Bianco, Mont Blanc. That is a special place because on that mountain, 238 years ago, it came the first climb of the mountain. And from that climb, it born an activity that today we call alpinism. And maybe you never thought about that. If you go in Patagonia, in South America, in Antarctica, in Pamir, in Tian Shan, in Kunlun, in Africa, in Papua New Guinea, when they ask you what you are doing, you said, I'm an alpinist. I'm doing alpinism, okay? So it's the same words all over the world. And they start here, that kind of activities. Well, we can say the same also, so it becomes a word, a generic word. Alpinism, it means climb a mountain, wherever you are. So it's the same things also for Jeep and for the North Face that, I repeat, are two brands that I work with. And if I should describe when I go in Himalaya, in a base camp, and believe me, I was there 48 hours ago. So it was a real adventure to be here in time to talk with you, okay? And it will be another challenge after 2 days to return there and continue my exploration. Well, when you arrive to the base camp of Everest or any kind of base camp, it means at the base on any giant and gigantic mountain, when you are far, you see the highest mountain. For example, when you are 100 kilometers far from Everest, you see the shape of the mountain immediately, okay? And when you are closer and closer, you see the blue of the sky in a nice day, the shining white of the glacier of the mountain, and when you watch at the base, you see some yellow village. And you don't understand what it is. Then when you are closing, you see there are all tents, okay? And mainly the yellow is the shining color because the 99% of the tents are tents of the North Face, okay? And well, when you get closer and closer, you see that something is moving. And said, okay, the tents are not moving. They don't have legs. And then you understand there are all the people at the base camp wearing the Himalayan suit that is yellow, exactly like the yellow that you are touching with your back now, okay? So at the same time, there is another brand that identify the off-road that without any, let's say, artificial system met the other brand, the North Face. I make an example. Usually a skater and a BMX rider with the bike, they don't have to create an appointment. They are doing two exactly different kind of activities, and they met in the same point, doing tricks, okay, enjoying the beauty of doing tricks. Well, two brands that are enjoying to get fun in the outdoor are exactly like the skater and the BMX rider, Jeep and the North Face. And that's why I'm feeling very authentic in saying that I was happy that sometime when I was reaching in the summer the base camp of K2 or Broad Peak. K2 is the second highest mountain in the world, or Broad Peak in Karakorum, near the border between China and Pakistan. In June, we were crossing the river, just taking off the shoes and crossing the river and then walking till the base camp, climbing the mountain. And when we came back, the small river became a gigantic river, okay, due to the natural melting of the glacier or accelerated melting of the glacier due also to global warming. And so we have no way to cross, okay? In China, the system is you have to hire camels. Camels. They come with you in the base camp, they stay with you in the base camp, and when you come back, you jump on the camels. The camels are completely deep in the water, and you cross, you are in the other side, okay? But the camels are only in the other side, in Tibet. In this side, you don't know how to do it, and it usually came a very old Jeep, like the first model of 1941, and usually when you come, you wave them, okay? They jump in the water. You see not the camel, but the head of the driver outside the water and came to you and pick you and take you in the safety of Skardu and then Islamabad. So my story was always together with two brands. And so closing, usually when I start this speech, I should say, okay, thank you, Jeep, thank you, the North Face, that you invited me here. For me, it's hard to thank two brands for whom I did 7,000 kilometers in 48 hours from the base camp. But I want to thank them for another thing, because they were my partner. So I came here not because they invited me. There was a party of two friends, and I feel a part of these two friends' party. So that's why I'm here today. That's why I'm very happy that they will start now to tell this story, because it's also part of my story. Thank you.
Thank you for the incredible storytelling, Simone Moro, as usual. Now, I'd like to introduce two people to the stage to go further into the vision. So please welcome the head of Jeep, Ram and Dodge Brands Europe, Eric Laforge. Bienvenue, Eric. Ça va? And the general manager of the North Face, Mariano Alonso. Y bienvenido, Mariano.
Hi, everyone.
Please take your seats. And everything okay?
Oh, super. Difficult. We have a great ambassador to come just after Simone.
Yeah, we just heard from Simone how important exploration is, what it means to him, and how he views both Jeep and the North Face. It's clear this is no ordinary car launch. So, Eric, I'll come to you first. Why we are here today?
So, first, welcome from me too. Why Mont Blanc? Simply because a conventional meeting room was not enough to tell you the full story. It is the opportunity to present the partnership between two legendary brands that have joined forces to open new perspectives of exploration. A story that we will tell you today through the unveiling of our first project together, Jeep Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition.
And this is, for many points, a perfect location.
The location of this event is in fact an integral part of the content. It is a suggestive way of conveying the context, the field of action in which our partnership is developing. This is why we need the emotions and the wonderful views that only the highest peak in Europe can offer.
And now I better understand this wonderful view looking how now our background at the Mont Blanc.
We just wanted to share these amazing emotions with you. So we've opened a big window onto the magnificent mountain thanks to a webcam placed at Point Heilbronner. In this way, we opened the meeting room to let in the great outdoors and turn it into an emotional backdrop of our meeting.
But beside the emotional aspect, I reckon it's not only a location for this event, the Mont Blanc.
Yeah, we simply had to include the iconic Mont Blanc in our Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, because it has such a strong connection with our story. For this reason, we have decided to produce it in a limited edition of just 4,806 units, just like the 8 of Mont Blanc, which also inspired many distinctive features of the car. There is also an intuitive link between our partnership and Mont Blanc in the minds of Europeans. Indeed, when you mention a mountain, most people in Europe probably think of Mont Blanc. So this means that at Mont Blanc we are aligning with the top choices in customer perception.
And Mariano, as we understood, the Mont Blanc is not only a mountain, it's not only a peak, is a symbol, and it's full of values.
Well, Zoran, Eric, let me add a few words on the location of Mont Blanc. That has actually a very concrete but also symbolic value to both of us. We are today on the summit of a mountain that lies just between our European headquarters, Torino in your case for Jeep, and Stabio, and next to beautiful Lugano in Switzerland for the North Face. But since decades, the Mont Blanc, and Simone was a little bit touching upon, has also been a testing ground for all mountaineers during the past decades and centuries, exploring the peaks around the massif whilst building new, innovative climbing techniques and equipment in the search for ways to move in a more efficient but also in a more safe way. In fact, many of our athletes are living today in Chamonix all year round, and we can truly say that this is a playground for us as a brand. But we are also on a never-ending journey where exploring solutions and materials and crafting technologies can improve capability, comfort and safety for all of us. In the process, we have created iconic designs that allow athletes to achieve brilliant things like Simone does and unexpected achievements. In fact, it also describes a very well and more humble but crucial factor related to our collaboration. The hard and tight teamwork that is required for such a project, and to make that possible requires deep knowledge, deep trust, commitment, and this is really very precious. It is like, alpinists going together to climb a mountain and being roped together and really trusting each other. This is exactly what our partnership is all about. It is about a continued drive forward into exploration and adventure.
And adventure is for sure a key point. And now we know the meaning of our position here today. I feel it's time we see the fruits of this partnership. So let's have a glimpse of the car itself.
Sometimes to look at the world from a new angle, you need to do things you've never done. And to get where you've never been. With new Jeep Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition.
Beautiful and nice. It's brilliant to see the car come to life with the North Face athletes and explorers like this. I can tell you one thing. I personally, and it's true, I drive a Jeep Wrangler, and I have come to appreciate the freedom of choice and the opportunity that the Jeep brings me to my sometimes too busy life. A 4x4 that I use mainly in the city, of course, but also allows me to escape from the routine and to join the nature and to be in contact with the nature. And we are talking about the standout new model and how this standout new model fits into the brand's value. Could you expand this theme for me?
The Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, is a perfect match for our values. It's the next step in our journey towards electrification, and we truly believe that the 4xe is the new 4x4 for the next generation of customers. Because we are Jeep, a brand that has remained true to its value throughout its history of constant innovation. Freedom, adventure, authenticity, and passion. Every decision we take is filtered through those four values.
Four important values, but Haik, can you go a little bit deeper in the first value, freedom?
Yeah, from its very beginnings, Jeep has truly been the original freedom machine. And to this day, it continues to be a freedom enabler. Freedom to go anywhere and the freedom to do anything you love to do. And the brand keeps up the fight for freedom. It also keeps up the fight for our beautiful planet. This is one of the cornerstones of our partnership with the North Face. It really shows what we mean by co-believing.
Well, co-believing is really interesting. And Mariano, I believe you perfectly understand and share those values in the North Face.
Well, both companies have incredibly shared values. And this is obvious, and this is something that we recognize from the beginning. And since the North Face was founded in 1966, and actually gonna celebrate the birthday next Saturday, the 26th of October, we have stayed true to our North Star, which is never stop exploring. Never stop exploring is more than just a company motto. It is, you know, expressing the way we are working, the way we are actually nurturing our working culture, and also the way we are choosing our partners who we work with, and also envisioning our future. For me, for more than half of a century, we have tried to nurture this curiosity and also adventurous spirit, helping our consumers to find the courage to go out and to explore and to find their ways to for adventure, whether it is a big one or a small one. But for me, the North Face is finding their best expression when we disrupt positively. And, this is also true to how we do business. It is true to how we develop product, and it's also true to our consumers and athletes. Simone Moro is a perfect example for this. He has been disrupting positively, evolving the way people are mountaineering, and actually the way the whole industry has been moving forward, also by helping developing product. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about this as well. But when it comes to the new generation, we have also athletes that are actually breaking records, like Benjamin Vedrin, a French alpinist that just summited K2, the second highest mountain, with a record time below 11 hours, and then descending by paragliding. So with this partnership between Jeep and the North Face, we are also disrupting positively, and we are very excited and passionate about it.
I feel I can see just how much connection and how much in common you have with brands, as brands. And we've spoken about exploration and freedom, but I'm interested also in, or maybe more about perspectives. And what does this partnership do that brings a new mindset or change for the brands in the eyes of the consumers?
New perspectives of exploration accurately convey both the spirit of our partnership and the impressive features of that Jeep Avenger 4x the North Face edition will deliver to consumers. In the automotive industry, special editions are often released when the only distinction from the standard model is a unique livery, and this is not the case.
And you express an interesting concept, the co-believing.
So our partnership is based on co-believing, as I said, and the goal of respecting the nature of our core customers while reaching a wider customer base. It's been so inspiring to see how the Jeep and the North Face design people have worked as a team over the past 2 years. They've brought together different but complementary perspective and skills, and they added lots of passion to create something that is really unique and innovative. At Jeep, we indeed continue to push ourselves higher through our projects, product development, technology, and capability. We are still a brand in transition, constantly developing new electrified mobility solutions and technologies to meet evolving consumer needs. And the Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, is the latest demonstration of our commitment.
Would you say this is a vehicle for a new consumer or maybe a new generation of consumers?
Certainly. Our new Jeep Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, is an integrated project designed with a new generation of drivers in mind. This because the customer is the center of our world, and this vehicle is a perfect reflection of that. And Jeep customers don't just look for excellence, that they take it for granted, but they demand performance coupled with outstanding robustness. Exceeding these demands is our core, our mission. And with this in mind, the outstanding features that the Jeep Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, respond to the changing way of moving in the mountains by delivering lighter and more efficient solutions with no compromise on freedom and fun. And we rise to this challenge together with the North Face team.
And Mariano, how this project support the North Face in this changing of the consumer needs?
Well, without any doubt, change is all around us, and at the North Face, you can feel change every day. Change in fact how the consumers are evolving, change in relation and how the industry is progressing, and we see that with our product, how that is evolving. The way people explore is changing. The consumers are actually looking for a new way for adventure is developing, and we want to be able to equip and to support that passion, making the outdoors more accessible to the consumers with less impact for the planet. I also like to underline that our project and this collaboration is showing truly a new way of our brand. That's why the integrated work between Jeep and the North Face has been so important, offering a complete new perspective to the consumers and adding value at every touch point. And I truly believe we have done so far.
Oh, I believe it. And I think for me to see both brands come together in this way is really unique. It's unique both from a values and design perspective, but Eric, with the added value of these combined brands, how fits the Jeep Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition in your positioning?
So the Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, adds uniqueness to the Avenger already strong points thanks to co-design with the North Face team. More than that, the Avenger 4xe, the North Face edition, is a perfect example of our protect the core and broaden the reach strategy. As we introduce the all-wheel drive in the entry model of our lineup, combined with a more efficient hybrid powertrain. This helps us to effectively expand our customer base. Electrification is already enabling us to attract more customers, and Jeep results in 2024 just prove that this strategy works.
We used to talk by numbers as well. And can you express this attractiveness in numbers?
So the award-winning Avenger continues to surpass expectations with over 120,000 customer orders in Europe since the launch, and is now the third best-selling vehicle in the Italian market. The sales mix also shows that 70% of Avenger customers are new to the Jeep brand, with a younger and more inclusive audience. Female customers rising from 23 to 33%, and the average age going down from 58 to 49 years old.
Right. And Mariano, how do you see this partnership in your brand position? And is this such a change for you?
No, the goal has always been to the same actually, to produce the most technically advanced and high performance outdoor gear in the industry that supports exploration. So with that in mind, the partnering with Jeep has been fitting just perfectly. We have products that have truly changed our game, and whether it is our iconic products, our mountain jacket or our Nupsi, our Denali, all those products have been designed and developed for a purpose to really and crafted for the outdoors and for performance in mind and adopted for the lifestyle culture without ever losing their purpose or their function. So in our days, the Summit Series is the ultimate representation of our pinnacle expression for the obsessed outdoor consumer, or for our athletes following our claim being athlete tested and expedition proven. So the new Avenger, the North Face edition, is going to enable 4,806 consumers to really explore further with less impact on the planet and inspire thousands and thousands more in the future.
And you both, Marianne and Enrique, you mentioned sustainability and impact several times. And we are here in the shadow of the Mont Blanc, and we can see the way the world is shifting. We can see it daily, and especially here. How important is this journey towards electrification and reducing the impact on the planet for Jeep?
Sustainable mobility through electrification is in fact the main pillar of our product strategy. World EV Day back in 2021 was the turning point that defined our commitment to emission-free sustainability. And we are not slowing down, with strong ambitions to continue our growth trajectory, both globally and here in Europe, where we've just presented 2 new all-electric vehicles to further expand our zero-emission lineup, with the Avenger having set the stage more than 1 year ago. So back in May this year, indeed, we launched Wagoneer S, the fastest Jeep ever, and announced the upcoming Recon, where the rugged side of Jeep goes battery electric. We are passionate about the environment, and it's not just about mobility, it's really a mindset. We strive to be consistent and transparent at every step and in every situation, because our actions always reflect who we are.
Transition from combustion to electric mobility is more complex than we thought, and you know that. And it seems that many consumers remain reluctant to switch in many parts in Europe. The costs, the charging infrastructures remain the 2 main barriers. So the question is, sustainable mobility can also be available to all.
As Jeep, we introduced in Europe the Jeep 4xe plug-in hybrid since 2021 to make available an introduction to electric driving to customers who are not yet ready for a full electric. The Avenger 4xe is combining an hybrid engine with the off-road 4x4 capabilities represents a more accessible electrified opportunity.
So you're combining performance, efficiency, adventure, and accessibility.
Yeah.
And how?
By following a principle similar to the North Face approach of bringing hyper-technical gear originally designed for the Himalayas to a wider audience of outdoor enthusiasts, but with a more user-friendly and approachable offering. True to Jeep values, Avenger 4xe the North Face edition is a perfect example of the Jeep brand's commitment to providing an energy-efficient yet inclusive 4x4 experience without sacrificing performance.
And what about the manufacturing element?
This was a challenge that organically engaged all the departments involved in the process, all of them focusing on a common goal. The results exceeded our expectations, and today I'm really proud to announce that 85% of the Avenger 4xe can be recycled at the end of its life, and not just the Avenger 4xe, and this applies also to the normal versions of Avenger. This makes circularity a fact and not just a good intention.
And what's about the North Face? As a consumer of your products, I know they made to last. The durability and the quality are well known, but how do you view the journey to the brand impact?
Well, earlier I spoke about our brand values, and one of the key components how we are actually living the sustainability is embedded in our DNA. We are, and looking to progressively evolve and improve how we are reducing the impact in our planet. This is truly true to our history, but also to our future. And we recognize and value the importance of the journey by taking as many steps possible to find our positive way and contribution to the cause. So the first one is, and you were mentioning this, by crafting high quality products that are first and most importantly designed for a long life. But we are also continue to develop solutions such as remade and repair, where we are expanding the life cycle and giving a second chance. These are just two powerful examples, how to drive the sustainability agenda. In fact, the repair concept is now rolled out, and we are very much investing into that with our flagship stores, whether it is in Chamonix or in Berlin or in Regent Street in London, in Barcelona, and it's actually going to become a more and more important part of our sustainability agenda for the future.
That's pretty interesting and important. Thank you, Mariano. Thank you, Eric. But stay with us because this event is not over, and we will talk later on more. And as you've seen, and as you know, Jeep and the North Face have both made their mark on the modern imaginary with designs that have influenced the lifestyle all over the world. Talking about design, and that's interesting in this moment, a few days ago, I was lucky. I had a very sneak preview of this limited edition, and I noticed some familiar The North Face touches in it. It was almost as the two brands had merged to something new, a kind of fusion moment. And so now, let's deep dive into the subject. And now please meet the North Face design director, Darren Shooter. How are you?
Very well, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
And the head of Jeep Design Enlarged Europe, Daniele Calonaci. Daniele. Well, I spent some time with them, and they're so passionate, and they love their job so much that this presentation will be really interesting. I'm curious, and just take my seat, and the floor is yours.
What a fantastic location.
Yes. Would you ever imagine to be here 2 years ago?
No. Not at all, but it's great to be here.
So today we are here together to explain a story, a nice story, a very nice story of collaboration of two brands fusing together to give you a unique single message and product. It is a long story because everything started 2 years ago, just after the launch of the Avenger in Paris in 22. So we welcomed Darren and his design team in Turin. Our studio is pretty big, so the idea was to have many vehicles in the studio. We had the Jeep Avenger front-wheel drive, the 4x4 concept that we just launched, and my own Wrangler. My own Wrangler is a mess. It is full of dents, stretches. Sometimes I lose pieces in the wood. But the idea was to bring this vehicle full of mud in the studio. That was also a problem in the 2 weeks after to wash the studio. But the idea was to, let me say, to transfer the passion and the idea how you had to use your vehicle in the nature. So you don't have to be scared about scratches and dents. And also to calm down on the dents history. Every dent on my vehicle has a history. I remember that time in which that kid in Iran threw me stones. I remember when I scratched all the skid plate in Morocco. I remember every single moment of the damage that I have on my Wrangler. So we started to know each other. Darren started to tell us the history, the fantastic history of North Face, their athletes, their core values, and we did the same talking about Jeep. And for this reason, we did this slide, because as you can see here, we have one of the two most famous claim of Jeep and North Face. One says, go anywhere, do anything. The other says, never stop exploring. Basically, this is what we, let me say, felt, that our brands are completely overlapped. So the idea was also to find a common point, no? A unique theme to develop on this project, the Mont Blanc. And this is also a reason why we are here today. The Mont Blanc is the highest peak in Europe. It is one of the most challenging, right, Simone? And it is also something in between our studio. But sometimes we think that the Alps are dividing our studios, but it's also the connection between our studio. So today you will see a trip, an escalation on this mountain that will be the design presentation. So we'll have the Mont Blanc as a unique theme, but also the Summit Gold. The Summit Gold is the hero color of North Face, what you have on your back seats, this color. So that will be the two themes on this project. But we push it further also to have a new claim of our collaboration. Explore together, but also explore to get there.
True.
True.
Very, very true. I mean, how do we capture 2 years in 10 minutes? If you're lucky, 10 minutes. I think one of the words that we've heard mentioned quite a bit today is this concept of co-believing. I think when my team met with Daniele's team, that was the big message that we took away at the end of that first meeting together. You know, it's not often that two brands from different industries come together with such shared values. You know, yes, we're both two iconic brands. We've got a long history of the outdoors. But when I was explaining the values of the North Face to Daniele, and then Daniele was talking about the Jeep's brand values,
That was crazy.
it was a complete alignment. And after that day, we knew it's about time that this partnership happened, basically. So when we left Turin on that first day, I think the core values that we took away with us was, you know, we've got a shared passion, a shared love for the outdoors. I think one of the key passions is that we empower people, customers, athletes to explore further. And essentially, we are two iconic brands coming together for this amazing project.
As Simone said, two icons. And we started our history with iconic act, because they are not only product, they are acts. So I could talk about the Willys for 1.5 hours, but this is not the right place. So all of us know the Willys. That was a technical product that has to challenge difficult, let me say, times. So the design of the Jeep Willys was made with a problem-solving approach in mind, with less material as possible, with the most robustness possible, and with the idea to make it easy to build in the factory, easy to assemble on the field. Can you imagine that only 8 people in less than 4 minutes can assemble this vehicle in the night on the field? So this is a tactical approach with problem-solving in mind.
We also, over the years, have developed some icons within the North Face. Mariano spoke about the Nuptse jacket, the Denali jacket, the mountain jacket, all have become very iconic over the years. When we think about collaboration, we hear a lot about brands collaborating, we see it a lot online, but we think about collaboration as being quite a new concept, something that's been around maybe for 10 years. But actually this fantastic tent you see on the screen here was actually the North Face's first collaboration. So we collaborated with the architect, philosopher, freethinker, so many names, genius of the 20th century, Buckminster Fuller. His design studio is very close to the North Face's design studio in San Francisco. And we came together to solve a problem, solve a challenge of creating the strongest, most protective temporary structure possible. And that was the birth of the geodome, geodesic oval intention tent back in 1975. I'm sure, Simone, you've stayed in a few over the years. And, you know, what I'm trying to get to is the philosophy of Jeep with their icons, the philosophy of the North Face, is we're always problem solving. We're always trying to create the best solution and the most protective solution.
Exactly. So we started our journey together. And as Simone said, you have many choice when you start a travel, an exploration. So the first point of every exploration is the map. You have to study the territory. You have to understand where you want to go, what you want to avoid, or what you want to challenge, as Simone said. Maybe you need a machete to create a new road. But the map is the starting point of every exploration. So we decided to put on many different features of the Avenger TNF, the contour line of the Mont Blanc. So we projected these lines on the hood sticker, 7 slot, and the IP. Mariano and Eric already told about these meaningful numbers. So the number is not only the special series of the Avenger, launch edition of the Avenger TNF, but it is also the height of the Mont Blanc. So again, to underline that every single step of this project has a deep meaning. And then there's your favorite topic, no? 5 features on the Avenger.
Well, my favorite detail on the vehicle, my one favorite detail, are these fantastic floor mats. So to tell you a quick story, some of Daniele's team, they got a 3D scanner. I don't know how they got it up Mont Blanc, but they got it up Mont Blanc.
We did it.
And they managed to scan a part of the mountain. Once they had their scan, they took it back to Turin, and somehow they've managed to translate that scan onto the floor mats of the vehicle. So wherever you are with this Avenger, whether you're in the mountains, you're on the trail, or you're just driving around the city, your feet are always going to be on a part of the Mont Blanc.
Yes. But you cannot imagine any travel with North Face and Jeep without safety in mind. So as you know, all the Jeep 4x4 lineup has always hooks, tow hooks on the body, because you never know where a Jeep customer can find himself in the nature. So it is a useful instrument that you need to get out when you're stuck. It is based on the concept to save and to be saved. This is also the main concept of the exploration. Never go alone in the nature, because you need help probably from your fellow. And this is really a deep meaning of Jeep and North Face, because thanks to these things, you are not creating only customers, but you are creating communities.
Very much so. And this concept of always stay safe is pinnacle to everything we do and everything we build. We, if I have to associate this to one of the North Face collections, it would have to be Summit Series. So the Summit Series collection is the North Face most pinnacle technological collection. Mariano used the phrase already, athlete tested, expedition proven, and Simone can support this as well. Everything within the Summit Series collection is tested over years and years. For sure, it looks great. It's got a style to it, but it's built around the concept of performance and protection and keeping our athletes, our consumers, whoever's wearing it safe on the highest peaks of the highest mountains.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't be a design presentation without a prop, would it? So excuse me, indulge me. I wanted to introduce you to a jacket. This is called the Mountain Jacket. And even though it looks super modern, this particular style is 40 years old. So again, when we're talking about design DNA, design hooks, what would flow through the vehicle, we felt we had to use the North Face iconic color. So Summit Gold has been in the North Face collection since first premiering on this jacket in 1985. We developed the color based on visibility. When you're in the mountains, it's essential to be as visible as possible, even in the harshest of conditions. So we spent a lot of time testing and developing and trialing different colors, and then this color was developed.
So we are coming back again to the nature. And I would like to say also something nice on book, Mr. Fuelless. His approach on the architecture engineering was bionic. So he's way of working in the architecture and also in the dome tent was, let me say, observing how nature is working. So we did the same thing on the colors. The idea was to have something in the middle. You know, many natural elements decided to be hyper visible, and many other want to be mimetic. So the idea was to work in the middle with the mimetic natural and neutral color on the body. So as you can see here, we'll have the white, the black, and the new entry color that will be the storm gray. And that will be functional because they are solid color. They are not metallized. So if you are going to scratch your vehicle in the nature, it will be much more easier to repair with a simple brush. But the idea was also to be very visible. So we put some summit gold on the exterior and also on the interior as well of this vehicle.
So what we also added to the vehicle, which again is a common DNA between both of our brands, is the concept of what we call back to black color blocking.
Yeah.
So again, just to call out my favorite jacket in the room, this was the first time that the North Face actually used back to black. Nowadays, we consider it quite an iconic detail within our brand. But when we designed this jacket, we'd never used it before. So why do we use it? Well, firstly, the panels that you see in black here across the jacket were built for protection. This was originally an ice climbing jacket. You know, so when you dragging yourself up the side of an ice face, you need protection on your jacket in certain areas, otherwise it's just going to get shredded and destroyed. What we also found when we created this jacket was the high contrast between the black and the gold makes the jacket even more visible, so you stand out even more in the extreme conditions.
So you mean the black areas are functional?
Exactly.
So let's see the right side of this slide. Again, Jeep is working in the same way in all the lineup, but let's talk about the Jeep Avenger. Many of you already attended the presentation of the front-wheel drive. We talk a lot about the 360 protection, the 360 cladding, molding color cladding that we'll have in the lower part of the vehicle to protect the body. And as you know, the 4x4 has a more aggressive cladding. It's higher, more thicker, so the idea is to protect better the body of the vehicle. And again, I would like to stress this topic, the molding color technique. Molding color means that the color that you see in the first surface is exactly the color of the molding. So basically, you can scratch all these things, all these black areas, without seeing any effect in the future. And the second functional black element of this vehicle, as you know very well, is the anti-reflective hood sticker. Again, we'll have a special matte black finished hood sticker with summit gold for sure that will prevent any glares in front of the eyes of passenger and for sure of the driver when he's going to drive in front of the sun. And then we reached the end of the peak of this journey together, the interiors. And on the interiors we will have a jewel, the seats. The seats took a lot of information and inspiration coming from the North Face history and core value. For example, look at the central part. The central part has a puffer style. This is not only style. Again, we never do anything related with the style without any function. The puffers gives for sure more coziness, more softness, and you will test it later. And it will give us the possibility with this special section to have a more breathable back for the passenger and also for the driver. But we also decided to use this special new fabric. This is a new introduction for Jeep. This fabric is a normal fabric with a polyurethane coating, transparent coating on top. So basically we will have the double of resistance in comparison with every fabric present in the automotive industry, and it will be completely washable. The whole seats. And if you watch the back of the seats, taking always inspiration from the backpack of North Face, we'll have the back laces. So to enhance the storage of the rear row.
Yeah, I think the interior of the Avenger is exactly where both of our brand DNAs come together in a really pinnacle way. The seats that Daniele was just explaining, I presume a lot of you, I don't know how well you know the North Face, but I presume a lot of you have seen the 4xe jacket, you know, with our iconic quilted baffling. So I love how that's come to life in the seat details here. And I think we already spoke about this storage behind me, you know, how we've taken the bungee cords, the adjusters from the Borealis jacket and put them onto the back of the seat. And I think the final icing on the cake is our iconic back shoulder detail which you'll find on the back of both seats as well.
So I think we reached the end of our journey.
Please an applause because
Thank you.
I can, I don't know you, but I can feel all the passion that they put into this project and this partnership. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniele.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for your inspiring storytelling. So, I have come to the conclusion of this interesting press conference, a press conference reaching contents, both contents and emotions. I would like to ask to both why. For me, it's pretty easy because during also the first presentation of First Glimpse, I'm a telemarketer, I'm a surfer, so for me it was easy to imagine, okay, where this car, this vehicle can bring me for my adventure. But for your side, why should I be interested in the Avenger 4xe North Face edition? Eric, starting with you.
So through this groundbreaking partnership, we are bringing you an exclusive product experience that reflects the excellence of both brands. We invite you to join us on this journey to explore, to engage, and to lead the way to a new vision of exploration rooted in shared values, as you saw. So I think that together we can really make a real impact.
And Mariana, will you complement Eric's summary?
Well, first let me share how nice it is to hear Eric talking in a very passionate way about our collaboration. And actually, there is not much to add listening to Daniele and listening to Darren. But, you know, in short, it's really the collaboration between Jeep and the North Face is a new way to explore. And that's very inspiring. So we want to give that inspiration to our consumers. Together, we are shaping a new perspective.
And it's a new adventure. It's the new adventure as the vehicle is. A vehicle which is full of additional surprises and details that has to be discovered or talked about, but maybe just around the campfire in the nature, in the wilderness. We've arranged to do something like this. So once again, thank you, Mariano.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Eric.
you. Thank you.
And thank you
Eric.
for your attention.
Thank you.